Hello guys, welcome back. Today we will design rest of the dashboard screen. So let's see the screenshot first. So here first we will design this start study session button. Then we will design this upcoming task list and then recent study sessions list. So let's go back to the Android Studio and here let's open our dashboard screen. So here in this lazy column, after this subject card sections, let's take one more item composable, and in this let's take a button. So here I have taken this button composable which comes with the material 3 library, and in this button I have used this text composable to place this start study session text. And after this I have used this fill max width modifier and then padding. Here I have gave this different paddings to vertically and horizontally. So let's run our app and see how this button is looking. So here we have our button. It is looking as we expected. So let's minimize this and this also. So after this button, we need to design this upcoming task list. Since this will be used in subject screen also, so what we will do, we will design this screen one time and then we will reuse it in both of the screen. So let's go back to the studio. And here in this component package, let's create one more file. Here we need to consider one thing, that this task list will consist number of task cards. So those task cards we will put in the lazy column. But here in the dashboard screen we can see we are already using this lazy column. So what we will do, we will take the lazy list scope. So that lazy list scope will provide the scope of that lazy column. So here let's take function with lazy list scope, and now let's name our function with as task list. Now since we are using this lazy list scope, we have access to this items composable. So here let's take this item, and in this item let's use text composable. So here this text composable will be used for the heading. Since we will use this task list at different places, so we will provide the heading of this through the parameters. So let's create one parameter. So we will use this section title here. Now after this section title, we will place an image and text when there will be an empty list of tasks. So what I will do, I will just go to the dashboard screen, and here let's copy the code from this subject card sections. So here we can copy this code because this code is exactly similar to that task list. So let's copy this and here paste it. So here we will provide the task list to this function. So for that we need to create a data class for a single task. So here let's create one more data class file. So for every task we will be having these 6 values. So let's use our task data class here. Like this we will provide the list of tasks here to this function. So let's use this task. So we will say if this task list is empty, then we will use this item block and use these two things in this block. We need to put these two things in a column layout. We are not using any layout for these two things. So let's use column layout. So here in this image, we don't need to align this because I already have provided the parameter of this center alignment horizontally. So let's remove this one. And here we need to provide the empty list text. So let's create one more parameter here. We will provide this empty list text wherever we will use this function. Let's also remove this modifier because I have already provided in the parent column layout. So let's remove this and let's also take space in between these two. So now let's use our task list in the dashboard screen. First let's minimize these imports, and here in the dashboard screen let's scroll up, and after this item of that button let's use task list. So here I have used this task list, and for now I have provided this empty list. So now we can run our app and see this change. So here we have our upcoming task section, but I have forgot to change the image. So let's minimize this and let's go back to our task list. So here instead of this image book, let's use image tasks, this one, and let's run it again. So now we can see our upcoming task section is looking perfectly good when there are no tasks. So next thing, first let's minimize this and let's go back to our screenshot. So the next thing what we need to do, we need to create a single task card, and then we will reuse that single task card for each task in that task list. Let's minimize this also and scroll down. So here let's create one more private function with the name of task card. So here for a task card, I have taken this elevated card and I have provided this clickable modifier because this task card will be clickable. And then in this card, I have taken this row layout because there will be two child of this row layout which will be placed on the horizontal axis. One of the child will be this column layout. So in this column layout, I have used this text composable for the title and then the same text composable for due date. here we can see this is giving error. So let's press Ctrl B. So we need to change this to Boolean. So here in this text composable, I have used this max line. So this max line will make sure that our title will not go into the second line. And this overflow will make sure that when the title is not adjusted in the one line, then this will place three dots in the end of that title. And after this I have used this text decoration. So this text decoration is for when the task is complete, then this will place a line through over that title, and if that is not complete then there will be no text decoration. So before this column layout, we also need to put a task checkbox. So first let's see the design. So here we can see these circles. These are task checkbox. So now we will design this task checkbox. So for that, let's create one more file with the name task checkbox. And why I am creating this new function in the new file? Because this task checkbox will be used in this task card and also in the task screen. So we will reuse this task checkbox at the two places. So that's why I have created a new file. So here this will be our task checkbox. Here I have used this box, and in this box I have used this size modifier. So I have given this 25 dp size, and then I have used this clip modifier. So this will make this box into this circle shape, and then this border modifier, this will make the border 2 dp width, and this border color will be different according to the priority. So this border color we will provide through the parameter. And also this task checkbox will be clickable, so I have used this clickable modifier. And here I have used this animated visibility. So this animated visibility composable will help us in making something visible or not according to a condition. So here we will provide this is complete boolean value. If the value will be true, then we will show this icon, otherwise there will be no icon. So here I have used this check icon with 20 dp size. So let's use our task checkbox in our task card. So here I have used this task checkbox, and here for this border color, for now I have just provided the black. This on checkbox click we will access through this parameter of this task card. So here this on click functionality we will give to this elevated card clickable modifier. Now let's use our task card in our task list. So here after this let's create one more items block. Here we will provide the list of items. So let's select this one, and this will be the task list. So here I have used these task card within this items block. So now let's go back to our dashboard screen, and here instead of this empty list, let's create first a dummy list of few tasks. So here I have created a dummy list of these tasks. So here let's minimize these list and let's provide this task list here like this. Now we can run our app and see this change. So here we have our task list, we can see. It is looking perfectly good, but we need to update few things. So for now, let's minimize this. Let's go to this subject data class first. So in this subject data class, we also need to keep a subject ID for each subject. So we can distinguish between these subjects. So let's create one more value for that. And in the same way, let's go to the task data class, and here let's also make a task ID, because each task will be associated with a subject, so we will keep the subject ID also in this task. So here let's also create one more value like this. Now let's go back to the dashboard screen. So here we will see this dummy subject list is now giving error, so let's provide those subject ID also here. For now I will just provide 0, and also in this task dummy list let's update those two values. Here now it won't give error anymore. Now the next thing, let's go back to the task data class, and here we can see we have this priority value. So for every task we will keep three priorities: high, medium, low. So for that, let's create a enum class where we will keep these three values. So here in this StudySmart module, let's create one more module with the name of util and create a file with the name of common. And in this file we will create an enum class. So this will be our priority enum class. Here I am using these three values for each priority: title, color and this value. So we will access our priorities with the help of this value. We will use this from int function. So we will provide the value and it will give us a priority among these. and if this will give us null, then we will take medium as a priority. And here I am using these colors which I pasted in that theme color file. So let's go back to our task list here, and in this task list here we have this task card. So here in this task card we need to provide the border color of this task checkbox. So here we will access our priority class and that from int function. So we will provide the value, whatever value will be in this task dot priority, and let's access the color of that priority. Now the next thing, let's go above, and here we need to access these two click functionality through the parameter of this task list. So let's create two parameters. So here with the task card click we will provide the task ID, and on checkbox click we will provide the task. So let's attach these two parameters with their respective values. So here we will say on checkbox click, and in this on click. Now go back to our dashboard screen. Let's also close these files, and here in this dashboard screen, first this is giving error, so here let's leave those two things blank for now. And here in this task list, let's update these priorities to different. Now let's rerun our app and see these changes. Now we can see we have checkbox with different colors as we provided priorities. Here I have provided the 0, that's why it is in green color. Now the next thing what we will do, first let's minimize this and this one also, and let's see the screenshot. Next thing, we need to design this recent study sessions list. Again, this recent study sessions list will be used in other screens also. So in the same manner as we did with the task screen, we will also create a separate file for this. So here in the presentation package and in this component, let's create one more file with the name study sessions list. Here what we can do, we can copy all that task list code and we can reuse that here, because almost everything will be similar and we will change the necessary things. So here in this task list, let's copy all this code and paste it here. Now let's change all the necessary things. First thing, we need to rename this as study sessions list. And now next, instead of this task, we will provide the sessions list. So again we need to create one more data class for session in our model package. So here these will be our values for every session data class. So let's use this session data class here. And for now, let's delete these two parameters. This item block will be exactly same. And here instead of this task, we will check this sessions list. And if this is empty, then we will provide this column. And here we need to change the image from this image task to image lamp. And all these things will be same. And here we will provide the items of sessions, and we will get the each session So here instead of this task card we will use session card. I will create that session card later. First let's use this sessions list in our dashboard screen. So after this task list, let's create study sessions list. So here I have provided this study sessions list with an empty list for now. So let's run our app and see this change. So let's scroll down. So we can see here we have our recent study session section, and let's also give some space in between these two lists. So here after this let's take this item block and here let's use spacer. Now let's go back to our study sessions list and here let's create our session card. So here let's rename it to study session card and we will provide the session instead of this task. And let's also delete these two parameters, and instead of this elevated card let's use card, and these card will not be clickable, so we can remove this modifier like this. And in this card we will have a row layout, and then in that row layout let's also delete this task checkbox and we will have this column layout. In this column layout this text should be session dot related to subject. This will be our title, and style will again be same title medium, and text decoration we can remove this, and under this title we can use date. So here let's give, and in this row layout on the right side we will use text for duration and then icon button for delete. So here we need to keep these two things, text and this icon button, on the right side. So what we will do, we will use a spacer with weight. So here I have provided this 1F as weight. So this spacer will take the maximum space between this column and these two composables. Now we can use our study session card in this items block. Here I am providing this padding through this modifier, so let's remove the padding here. And also this delete icon on click, let's provide through the parameter of this function. First let's attach this to this icon on click, and also here let's create one more parameter on delete icon click. We will provide the session. So here let's provide that session. Let's scroll above and here we can see some of the imports are unused. So let's press Ctrl Alt O. So this will remove the unused imports, and let's minimize these imports and let's go back to our dashboard screen. Here now it will ask for that on delete functionality. For now, let's leave it blank, and instead of this empty list, let's create a dummy sessions list and provide to this. So here I have created this dummy sessions list. So let's minimize this and provide this to study sessions list like this. Now let's run our app and see this. So here let's scroll down and we can see we have our study sessions card. So we can see these are look pretty good, but only thing we need to give some padding before this title and this date. So let's minimize this and let's go back to this study sessions list, and here in this column let's provide that modifier and run it again. Let's scroll down and we can see we have some spacing before the name of that subject. So now we can see we have designed our dashboard screen fully. This dashboard screen has taken so much time. Why? Because here we can see we are creating all these first time, but when we will design the other screen they will not take that much time. Why? Because these task list and these session cards list, we can reuse these things in those screen also. So those screen won't take this much time. So in the next video we will design the subject screen. Thanks for watching and do subscribe so you don't miss the next video.